Live. But what? Did I unplug it now? Confounded. Hello, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hilk empath. It's a clown. I'm just a clown. I'm just a wise clown. Just a wise ass clown. I just like having these little talks about the way I feel about things. Today I feel good, man. I feel semblances of spring. We were supposed to get snow last night, like 1 to 2 inches. I'm in northern New Mexico. And we got a light dusting. And when I was talking to the feller in the grocery store line the other day, he was saying he's probably in his late 60s, maybe mid 60s, late 60s. I don't know, maybe 70. I don't know. I'm not real good at age. Guessing numbers, how long people have lived on the earth. It's weird. Anyway, he was saying it used to snow 2-3 feet here, you know, in places. People all over the nations talk about, the country talk, or the world really talk about how the weather's changed, you know. I don't live in the same places that I grew up in, so I don't, my normal, I don't know. Reading, the place I grew up in, just had, like, some places had, it was, they were supposed to get up to like 17 inches and stuff like that. I don't think they did. But weather is definitely weird. Hi, Annie. Hi, Annie. Good morning, Annie. So I'm excited today. I woke up and I listened to, I think it's my new favorite talk that Jessie Zaboter did today on Aquarius Rising Africa. She does talks with Chantel. And see, because we're about to bust through a wall of people freaking waking up. See, the Great Awakening is just waking up to something. An ideology that isn't true or is true. You know, a memory, a recall that is true or isn't true. It's different and separate for the individual, for the party, the person's having the experience. Everybody has a different experience. One of my first spiritual awakenings was when I was 15 and Mom had her stroke, and I had stayed at this girl's house. She'd invite me because Mom had her stroke, and I was just like, or Mom was having an episode because Mom used to get under great deals of stress and have episodes. They'd always start with little key things, like she would clean the house with Pine Sol, or she would want to go to a restaurant and get a cup of coffee. See, because that's just me letting that'd tell me that she just wanted caffeine and that go, and then she'd stay up all night cleaning, and she'd get really mad. What physicians and professionals call manic, which to me just. I always figured she had a lot of life force energy through her, you know, a lot of kundalini energy, and so she would, you know, and when we were little kids, it would start off like that, like real little, and then we'd end up, you know, because they were after us in the woods. There are those storylines of how the people would be after us. My father's side, usually, there's a big custody suit. It was like 5 years. It was a nightmare. You know, but we'd end up, you know, with our little suitcases and with my monkey and my, you know, going through the woods. Ended up in random men's houses, you know, just wild stuff. And then I grew up and I was like, well, everybody lives like that, right? Right? You don't talk about that stuff at sleepovers, I assure you that. So, Tut, you a boy. Tucker's very in his emotions. I didn't even get up and like raise my voice or nothing today. I was totally chill and, you know, just did my morning routine and listened to Jessie Zaboter's talk. And I think I actually have a few minutes left. I was late to here because I don't know exactly what time I set it to start, but I was like, I like to give Mom options because she doesn't ever go anywhere. She just watches the same 6 seasons of Longmire over and over. So I you know, you got to get a little variety in life. So it's like, okay, Mom, you want a bowl of cereal or you want some eggs, a little crab cake, You got these crab cakes, man. They're amazing. Anyway, so she opted for eggs and crab cakes, so it took a little bit longer for me to make her breakfast. And then, so when all these experiences happened to me when I was, and all these, we were poor and we're, poverty and all that's a lot of drugs and alcohol, and people just do. It's a low vibrational place. Even though my mom didn't do a lot of drugs, she didn't drink or anything like that. She hung out with people that did, and people just, when they drank and drug, they do freaking terrible things. And then when they're sober, sometimes they'll remember the terrible things that they did, and then they feel bad, so they drink to forget. But at some point, it gets to the point where booze, it don't work no more, man. Booze straight up takes your spirit. It takes the alcohol from your blood, the oxygen from your blood, and replaces it with alcohol. It literally takes what animates us, our breath. That is the only difference between us and a corpse, is our breath. That's our animation. That's our cooperation. When we're incongruent, everything runs smooth. So I grew up in a way that a lot of people didn't grow up. And then I tried to act like everybody else. And I watched TV, and then I get ideas of how other people acted, But what I come to find out is everybody's putting on a show. I mean, there's an air of how things are. And there's a lot of really good, solid families. I've seen a lot of really positive examples of families. But at the same time, every family has their skeletons in their closet. Maybe they're so good because they learned from their lessons from being so bad. You know what I mean? So, I'm an exceptionally strong woman. I was having a conversation today about, I said, when I was younger, I'd ask people for help and they wouldn't help me. I said, so I just wanted to learn how to do everything. And I said I did a pretty good job. I mean, I went to the United States Air Force. I was an age ranger. Our tech school was 6 months. I learned all the, pneumatic systems. They've been like this all morning. What? Why are you crying? It's okay. Come here. Do you want on the bed? Come on. What do you want? I don't know what you want. This is the stuff I don't get. Come on. You can come up here. Come on. Get over here. Come on. I'm sorry. I'm not doing this with you. I want to do it sober. Come on. Stop. This is how energy is, man. It doesn't matter what I want. I don't want to, dude. I just want to talk about stuff, and then we'll go walk around, and maybe we'll go for a stroll. He's got all this energy. Benzo, big face Benny, the boss face man. Oh, so yeah, I went in there for all these systems. I'm a mechanic, I've been troubleshooting my whole life. That's what was really cool about listening to Jesse's talk this morning. That's what I do all the time and ever since I was a little girl, I was always trying to, especially the people that represent them to be so good, so righteous, and so wonderful. I always look for their secrets. I look at people's medicine. I'm a snooper. I've been a snooper my whole life. You guys are fine. Just chill out. I've been a snooper my whole life. I remember finding a bottle of booze in the back of the toilet at Grandpa's house. That was funny. So I grew up and I always, I've had freaking grown-up dudes freaking do nasty, dirty, perverted gestures to me when I was a little girl. So and then I had terrible things happen to me when I was a little girl, like hands of grown men. I know this stuff exists. It's the rest of the world that just ignores it and pretends like it doesn't happen. All the rest of us are going on acting like, living life like everything's, new. And then somebody smells a flower or gets a whiff at your car door or something, freaking, boom, snaps a memory, puts them right back into that place. Welcome to full spectrum. So I've been looking at, one thing I like to do, Jesse was talking about recon that you can do, and that gave me good ideas. See, that's the thing though, is I can't, I have a hard time picking out, I'm Scorpio moon. And Rick Levine was talking the other day about, eagles. I can't remember the example he was trying to use, but he was like, eagles only kill when they're hungry. They only kill things when they're hungry, and scorpions strike things and kill things whenever. So it's like, but that don't mean, just because you can do things, that don't mean that you don't got the God-given gift of discernment and discipline and to not strike. My venom is in my tongue. I'm not a violent person. I won't put my hands on another person. My venom is my mouth. I just talk shit because people talk shit my whole life, and so I learned how to freaking. If you give it back good, then maybe they'll leave you alone. I just want to defend myself because people like to come at strong women. They do. They like to walk at me in the fucking grocery store, and I won't budge. I'll just keep going dancing along, because then the people fucking straight up run under me. It's just weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's because they're into that power freaking shit, and I'm not. I just want to freaking flow through life and have a good life, I'm not into freaking no power plays and shit like that. That stuff is lame to me. So Jesse was talking about recon and things that you can do to look in your local area of trafficking. Rings. The rings. How many rings are in your town? People really need to start looking at. I bet there's so many. I know a lot of rings. I bet I can name a lot of rings in Omaha, Nebraska. There's probably Omaha is like probably in the world, probably because it's right there in the smack dab. And all the freaking stockyards. I mean, I worked at Creighton University. It's a Jesuit university. I know there's good people in darks, but you know what? When you choose who are, what people do for a paycheck, that's selling your soul. Creighton was one of the only jobs I ever quit. I think it the only, no, I left positions to get other positions. But that was the one that it was like, I gotta go because this place is fucking jacked up. The IT department at a Catholic university, they called themselves Do It. Anyway, then my boss would talk about how they'd lock down their wireless because on the weekend, during the week, during the freaking hated it when the College World Series. There's another ring right there. College World Series. All those Olympic tryouts, there's a ring. Omaha Zoo, bet there's rings in there. There's rings everywhere because freaking people give a shit more about money and power and property and prestige and all that freaking stuff. Then they care about other people. That's the bottom line. I gotta see if Mom's CD stopped. I'll be right back. Sounds like you got quiet. Alright, good dog. I'll be in a minute. She was talking about some of the things that you can do in your local area for recon to look at the human trafficking rings and stuff like that. And I've done that since I was little. I've always looked in like windows of RVs and just passing them, on the interstate. Because I've driven a lot in my life. For one reason or another, I've been on the road a lot. That's why I'm like, ain't nowhere there's 7 billion people on this planet. I've been in a lot of this country on the roads, and I'm like, there's all this space that people aren't. It's just a bunch of bullshit, man. They just make up stuff, and we're just like, okay, whatever you say, because we're just freaking trying to get by in life. We're just too busy trying to take care of our families, Whatever you fucking wackadoo say, you nut job control freaks. What? Get up here then. Come on. Why do you need an escort everywhere? Huh? Why do you gotta be escorted everywhere, Benny? Just lay in the sun. Seeing RVs and or seeing, because I always look for signs in RVs and rest areas and just passing them on the street and stuff like that for, someone saying help, Because kids, man, you can tell when people just don't pay attention. Mostly people just don't want to get involved. Just don't get involved. That's how my mom was. She would never tell on her boyfriends that would beat the shit out of her, But she had no problem with us kids seeing it, But I love him. All the women that I hung out with in my life that freaking hung out with these scumbag and these dudes that hung out with these scumbag chicks, Because the thing is people are coming into the realization that everybody's masculine and feminine energy. It's just how much you got and what. See, I've always had a lot of what people other people identify as masculine energy. I just look at it as me being me. When I was a little kid, I wanted to be a dude because I thought it'd be easier to pee in the woods. And I always saw these women that doted and took care of men, and men didn't have to work and they didn't have to drive. And these women would just take care of them. And then they'd get drunk and then they'd beat the shit out of the women. I never understood that. They take care of you, And they're just little bitches. They're just little bitches. But there's little bitches and women too, because there's women that do have, okay, so men can have too much masculine energy too, or feminine, or because they're compensating on the fact that they feel too much feminine. It works in women too. I used to overcompensate with my masculine. I hated it. I was a homophobic homo. I didn't like gay people, and I'm gay. I like to identify with other things in life that I didn't like about myself. See? But once I got cool with me, I don't freaking care what anybody else says, as long as you don't freaking touch kids or freaking animals. And any kind of, a nasty, there's so many perverts in this world. The world is run by perverts. Because if it wasn't, so many wouldn't be allowed to do what they want. And there wouldn't be 800,000 kids that go disappearing. So are the numbers, maybe that's it. Maybe the 7 billion population is based on numbers of people that haven't been trafficked. Or are they still counting them that have been lost and never accounted for? Because they aren't there. 800,000 of them in the United States alone. So how many people is that a year that just disappear? Kids grow up just fully encompassed to their full energy, and parents not accepting that. So they just don't know how to accept that, so they get them out as quick as they can, as soon as they are able. And then the kids don't have no place else to go. So they get wrapped up with all these freaking dirty pervs and stuff, because the dirty pervs are just looking. Supposedly the family unit's supposed to be rebuilt, but we'll see. Anyway. I'm super excited. I'm going to end up on this. I found fire cider. I've been looking into fire cider and natural homeopathic remedies and stuff like that. Medicines and stuff like that. I just got to read this because I'm so excited about it. For 6 months, I've been looking for this and just online, because I read about it and I thought that, I'd rather do that than freaking any crazy mad science, any freaking wackadoo. Let's see. So I found this, and I'll let you know. I'm going to go down and pick some up, meet her and this afternoon and pick some up. What happened? Oh, it diverted. Hold on a second. Stand by. Talk amongst yourselves. I posted it on my page. So if I go there. Immune boosting Scarlet Fire Cider. This batch is made with locally grown Camayo peppers, onions, garlic, ginger, garlic, turmeric, horseradish, thyme, rosemary, elderberries, raw local honey from High Desert Honey Company, homemade apple cider vinegar, wild crafted juniper berries harvested by our kids, black pepper, Ceylon, cinnamon, and cloves. I'm super excited. I'll let you know how it goes tonight. Hope you have